Well, we just completed our 200-hour yoga teacher training here at Samahita. We both have practiced yoga for a couple of years now and really just wanted to expand our practice, so we chose this wonderful place to do our training.
I think there were so many things that I really enjoyed about it. I think just practicing every single morning and seeing kind of like how that deepened over the course of the entire month was really special to me. The food was really good, and the views, the beach, just everything about it. It was just a holistic experience. So just kind of that aspect of it was really great.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is a really special place, and I think the morning routine, it was what really changed things for me. I didn't realize coming here and doing the same thing every single day would really change the way that you kind of experience this experience. So having just, a set morning routine, same people, the food was delicious, and being in this environment and just getting to know everyone here and getting to really get to know yourself through the experience, I think really just made it very special. I think, well, before I came here, I didn't realize how important breath was, and I had been breathing wrong my entire life. I was always breathing into my chest, and I didn't realize how much, how if you change the way that you breathe, you change the way that you kind of live your life and wake up every day, and just things are different when you breathe the right way. And I think learning how to breathe properly, I'm still not fully there yet, but I have those kind of lessons, the foundations of that instilled from this program, and I think that has really taught me a lot just about myself and about my life before here, and then being able to take that and carry that into my life afterwards.
I think for me, honestly, the most important lesson, or the biggest thing that I took away from this experience, is just that this is such a slow process, and like Jill said, it happens over the course of a lifetime. It's a lifelong journey. And I think, there's definitely moments being in an intensive program where you can feel really frustrated with yourself and your practice, and just, that moment where you feel like you're just not getting it. But I think that just finding kindness and patience for yourself through this journey has just been huge, and it's something that honestly I can take with me not only in yoga but through the rest of my life. And I just feel like being in a place, in an environment that's so intense and where you're working on that constantly, that really cultivates and ingrains those lessons in a way that being out in the real world wouldn't necessarily do.
Totally. There's a lot of moments I really remember.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, we did some dance parties on the beach that were really fun,
So
silent
great.
discos. I highly recommend bringing that here when you're here. It really brings your energy up. Sometimes you just need to dance it out. And when Paul came and spent time with us here, he also had a dance party with us, and that was so unexpected and really fun, and it was just nice to see that energy matched by him. That was really special to me. And then honestly, one of my favorite moments was just our circle at the beginning of this program. I reflect back to that moment a lot, when we all sat down for the first time, meeting each other and just looking around the room at all these people you're about to spend a month with, and then spending that entire month getting to know everyone and then getting to know yourself so much more. So I reflect back to myself sitting in that circle at the beginning of this program, and everyone else a lot throughout this whole thing. And especially today when we're graduating, I've been thinking of me sitting there in that circle, not knowing what to expect, and then here now I just graduated. I feel like it's such a whirlwind, but something that I'll always remember.
Teachers were great, yeah. I think for me, honestly, a big reason why I chose to come here was because of who was teaching. I have a scientific background, and so I was really interested in finding a place that kind of blended Eastern philosophies with Western scientific tradition. And so the fact that Paul has all of his research was really intriguing to me. And then Ariel as well was just so knowledgeable about the body and how that all connects to the yoga practice. And honestly, it was so fascinating for me, especially in my hopes of pursuing a medical career. So That was amazing. Everyone was so kind. Daniel and Jill were fantastic, very funny and full of energy and light. And so, yeah, it really did make the program. Those are kind of the moments that I personally will remember. It's just hearing Daniel's voice going, feet together, hips together. It's gonna stick.
Yeah, I think all of the teachers that we had, all 4 teachers really brought something different to the program, and I feel like the 4 teachers all have such a different vibe and different skill set that is really, really valuable, and I learned so much from each person, so many different things from each person, and I think that was really special, just being able to learn from 4 really experienced teachers. Again, I think Ariel, I had never learned, I do not have a scientific background, so it was my first anatomy class of my life, and being able to sit there and really learn how anatomy connects to this practice, since that's really what I will be using it for in my life, was so helpful, and I learned more than I ever imagined I would learn, and it was so in depth. Everything was so in depth here. I think that was also something that I was expecting, because I had researched before coming here, but I wasn't expecting the level that we were going to be learning at. I mean, it was incredibly rigorous. Yeah. It was very challenging. This was probably one of the hardest things I've done in my life, but the most rewarding for sure. And I think a lot of that comes down to the people who were teaching us and the energy that we shared together, and it was just really, really special. You go first?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I personally would like to teach yoga moving forward, so I can see this as like a really interesting thing to bring back home, because in the markets in the community that I'm in, this kind of stuff isn't really talked about. It's very much like hardcore fitness yoga. So I've never been in a yoga class where they tell me you shouldn't have a high heart rate right now. You should be in control of your breath right now. Yeah. And so just coming here and learning about that was just so revolutionary to me, being someone who has more of a just really strictly fitness background. And I think it's so highly beneficial as well, and something that everyone can benefit from. So I would love to just take that back and share that with people, but also continue to work on my own practice and deepen that as much as I can every day.
Similarly, I would also really love to teach. I feel like I came here loving to practice yoga, and I'm leaving now really loving to teach yoga and being able to share that with other people. I would love to come back and do my 300-hour eventually here. I think that the way that yoga is taught here is something that I really resonate with, and just that the fact that yoga is way more than just the physical practice. So much of it is about breath and about just connecting with yourself and knowing that it's not about being good, it's about just deepening your relationship with yourself and with the energy around you. And I feel very grateful to have gotten the education here where it's really not solely based on the physical practice, because I think I'll take that personally in my own life, but then I would hope that I would be able to bring that to my students whenever I do start teaching, which I would love to do in the near future.
Ooh, I like this question. I personally researched a ton of different schools, and I'm just so glad that this is the place that I picked. And I think the thing that has helped me the most in my journey here is like really keeping an open mind and being open to learning and new experiences, and even with things like the Kriyas and things like that at first from a distant glance seem to be very intimidating or unusual, just really kind of taking that with that perspective of just learning and growth constantly being the number one priority. The place just really cultivates also, I think, a sense of connection and like really great friendships. So I just think that that's something that is so important too, because, you know, coming here I was a little worried, like, am I going to make any connections? Am I going to go and be alone for a month and just intensely learn and just be in my shell? And I just think something about it just made it so natural to connect with every single person here and support from the teachers as well in that process. So yeah.
I also researched a lot before I came here and before I chose Samahita, and I think this program is not for the weak. It is really intense, and you're not just coming here and laying on the beach and practicing yoga and doing the most extreme version of poses, headstands, handstands all the time. You know, it's really about deepening your practice, connecting with yourself, and learning so much, and being open to learning and open to new perspectives and open to things challenging you. I mean, I think this place really challenged me, and that was what I was looking for. And then coming here and really experiencing it, there were moments where I had to remind myself, like, you chose to come here and be challenged. And I think that I'm so grateful that I did choose to do that, because I feel like I got so much more out of this experience than I would have if I had just gone to any yoga teacher training that was based around the fitness portion of it. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't recommend this program enough. I think if you're really looking to deepen your relationship with yourself, with your practice, with the people around you, and just have a greater understanding of the world around you, this is the perfect place for you to learn. And it's beautiful here. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. Like, you're in front of the ocean. The food is delicious. The people are wonderful. Everything is wonderful. But it is definitely a challenge. So be prepared.
But I think too, it's a challenge in like a really good way. Like you're saying, like it's like a life-altering experience. Like it completely has shifted, I think, my perspective on things, and like taking a look at myself and how I walked through life previously versus how I want to continue to interact with like the world around me moving forward. I just feel like being in this intensive month where you can really, really focus on asking those tough questions and meditate on them, breathe through them, practice through them, and work through them together. I really just wanted to add, I just think it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that brings you to a whole new level, and I think it's really just life-altering and life-enhancing. So
Yes, thank you, Daniel.